someone's phone. All right. Anything else?
So, Guns from Sabat, Karak, he said, Shalaki General, can I get a breakdown of 2nd Ezra 5 and 3 through 5?
No problem, warrior. Let's get it. Also, someone hold, let an evil man rule over him and let Satan sit at his right hand. That's what happened today in America, man. Today, America received the president it deserves. That's who's ruling America right now. That's who, to be more exact, that is the kind of man that America wanted. And that is the kind of man that America deserves. America deserves Donald Trump. America wants Donald Trump because Donald Trump best embodies the idea of white supremacy and cruelty to the poor. And I'll explain that in a few seconds when we go into January 6th, all right? Go ahead.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 5, verse 3. And the land that thou seest now to have root shall thou see wasted suddenly. Verse 4. If the Most High grant thee to live, thou shalt see after the 3rd trumpet, that the sun shall suddenly shine again in the night.
Give me some context of what we're speaking about right here. Where are we at?
2nd Ezra, chapter 5, verse 3.
Read 1.
Oh God. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 5, verse 1. Nevertheless, as coming the tokens, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in a great number.
That's speaking about death. That's speaking about judgment day. Go ahead.
And the way of truth shall be hidden.
You understand what that's speaking about? Meaning, so many people will die, so many people will be gone, and the way of truth will be hidden. We're living in that time right now. And there's a great time of death that's also coming. Why? Because the way of truth is hidden, right? The path to the truth. You know what? When you're in the truth in America, they say that you're in a cult. They say you're crazy. They say you're a hate group. And when you're in a lie in America, and when you are an open white supremacist who hates Mexicans and hates black people, they call you the president of the United States. That's why death is coming. Because people enjoy lies and they hate the truth. Continue.
And the land shall be barren of faith.
And the land shall be what?
Be barren of faith.
That's why Donald Trump won this election. He won this election because this world is barren of faith. Barren of it. There is none. Can I prove it to you? Give me what happened this week in Kaleen, Texas. I'm not sure if it was even Texas. When these people tried to put up a cold center for poor people. As you know, it's a cold front is destroying America right now. I think up there, places like Delaware, places even further south, they're getting 8 inches of snow. Places that never receive snow. So because of that, some people wanted to put up what's called a warming center. A warming center. Because they know that a record number of Americans live outside in tents. Most of you have seen these people by now. They're everywhere. They're in every major city. They're in the rural people. So the government wanted to put up these places called warming centers that you can go into if the cold reaches below, I think, 15 degrees. Right? Let me Yadai will put the story up. I believe this will crystallize the point that the Most High God is making here. Please read it one more time.
Okay. Verse 1, sir. Okay. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, the 5, verse 1. Nevertheless, as coming the token, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in a great number.
Keep going.
And the way of truth shall be hidden.
Keep going.
And the land shall be barren of faith. Keep
going.
Verse 2. But iniquity shall be increased.
Iniquity shall be what? Increased. There is no way that you could win a presidential election in America without being overtly evil to black people. That's the key to success. That's the key to success. You would have to be overtly evil to Hispanics. The Democrats hate black people too. The Democrats hate Mexicans. The problem is they don't wear their hatred out in front of them. You can't tell how much they hate Mexicans. They don't overtly hate black people in the Democratic Party. And that's why they cannot win an election. You're going to have to overtly hate blacks and Hispanics to have success in America. And it's for this reason. Read that again.
But iniquity shall be increased.
But iniquity shall be increased. Wickedness will be increased. Every evil thing you can imagine, before you know it, to assault a child will become just another sexual preference. Just like Commander General Yohanna said years ago. The things that you would consider absolutely vile will be considered commonplace, and the cruelty to the poor will be considered righteousness. Let me prove it to you. Do you have it yet? Please put it up on the screen.
Warming center in a Kaysville community is doing all they can to fight plans for a code blue warming center in their city.
I want you to pause it when you see the front.
Commission meeting
I'll tell you
today.
when to pause it.
Specialist Mike Anderson was there, and he joins us live to explain why Davis County leaders are saying it's already a done deal. Mike?
Yeah, Dina, county commissioners are pointing some of the blame at the state law, which calls for the committees that create these warming centers to do so in private meetings. And now this building will become one of 3 warming centers in Davis County. And a lot of people are saying it's wrong that they were kept out of the loop.
We don't want answers. We don't want the shelter.
Tensions rise as Davis County commissioners move to.
What does that say on the front of that table right there? Can anyone read it? In God we trust. In God we trust. And there are about 100 people in this room complaining because they dared to set up a warming center that would warm homeless people who live outside in less than 15-degree weather. And it caused an uproar in the town. And all the while they're angry about poor people, homeless people getting warm. In God we trust is in the front of them. That's America. That's our oppressor. Before you know it, being cruel to homeless people will be God's will. It will be what God wants. It will be considered righteous to make sure that homeless people, homeless children freeze to death. Keep playing.
To close the public comment portion of their meeting this morning.
You were elected by all of these people in the room, and you're not listening to us.
Some people objecting to a positive email being read into the meeting.
One that you choose to listen to rather than 100 people in front of you.
All of them opposed to making this former emissions testing center at 600 West and Old Mill Lane a code blue warming center as required by state law when temperatures are forecast below 18 degrees.
The people that are coming to these homeless shelters do not want help. They're drug addicts. They do horrific things. I have small children. This is not why we elected you.
Commissioners say they have no other option now that another proposed location was shut down in Fruit Heights.
This is not why we elected you. We elected you to freeze poor people to death. That's why we elected you. They only go into this place when it gets below 18 degrees out. Do you understand? When it's 20 degrees, you freeze to death. This place is closed. 22 degrees, this place is closed. It has to go below 18. You know what that means also, right? At 18 degrees, this place is closed. It's closed. We didn't elect you for this. You get elected for freezing people to death. You don't get elected to keep them from dying. They would rather pay people to scoop your dead corpse off the ground than pay to have you keep warm in some warehouse. They'd rather pay people to chisel you off the goddamn sidewalk. That's why Donald Trump won this election. That's why the churches believe that God is with them and in them because they perform cruelty and then attribute it to God. In God we trust. Continue.
A local church had volunteered to provide that space, but later buckled under pressure from that community.
It's been frustrating. It's been frustrating.
A local church, before they moved them into this former emissions testing place, a warehouse. A church said, listen, we'll keep them warm at less than 18 degrees. The public protested so much, the church had to say, we will not keep them warm. A church. We will not do it. Why? Because the people don't want it. And that is the key to Christianity, which I know so many of you out there don't quite get. Okay, you look at people like Donald Trump and Creflo Dollar and T.D. Jakes, and your evil is so focused, your hatred or your contempt is so focused on the leaders of Blacks and Hispanics, the leaders of our enemies. You don't quite understand why they're the leader. They're the leader because the people are evil. The average person that walks into that church every day is a wicked monster. The average person that stands in a line to vote is a contemptible monster. That is the only way that wicked men could stay in power. Let me tell you how bad it is. A lot of people are not wicked, but they know they have to be wicked to succeed. They know they have to. These preachers know they have to accept homosexuality, because if they don't, they won't be able to own a church. There are so many preachers out there who would be against the LGBT community. They would be against abortion. They would be against the sexual lifestyle and that people love in America. But these preachers know that if they come against these things, they will lose their congregations. So then who really is the evil one then? The people. The people that go to church, they're wicked. Your grandmother is evil. Your mother, your father, your cousins, your daughter, your son, your wife. They go into that church. The preacher is simply giving them what they want. They're not, in your mind, it's like the preacher is the one fooling them. I wish it was the case. I wish it was the case. They're the wicked leader of a wicked congregation. They're the blind leading the blind. They're chosen by an evil people to be their representative. That's why Donald Trump is president of the United States. I believe that's that on that. You can replay a little more if you want to get it in your mind. It's up to you. All right.
And for you, it's been frustrating for us.
Kaysville Mayor Tamara Tran points out that even the city is helpless, as they cannot stop county leaders from using a building owned by the county. She'd like them to instead offer hotel vouchers for now.
I would hope that we could postpone that until next year and have a comprehensive plan that we can present to people.
Many other homeowners simply asking to be brought into the conversation.
But I feel like anything you're trying to do, you get better solutions the more people you include, and making it public from the beginning.
Stop. Let me tell you, listen, that mayor, she wants to open up this place to warm these people. She wants to do it. She can't. You understand? Because she knows as a mayor, it makes more sense to bring them inside to let them get warm. Otherwise, we're going to have to send people outside to scoop the dead bodies off the sidewalk. It's just logic to say, let's warm them. Or else they gotta fill up the emergency rooms when they come in with hypothermia. Now the emergency room is filled with people because they're dying or dead. But even she is not going to be allowed to help poor people because the average everyday American citizen is cruel. You die.
If I may, sir, it's something that the mayor said that was heavy to me, and I just wish that we did this in a righteous way.
Mm-hmm.
She said that their community is so strong that they're pushing up back against this. All I can think about is what if we as Blacks and Latinos pushed against the drugs on the corner, pushed against the abortion clinics, pushed against every evil thing that they push in our neighborhoods. They wouldn't be able to do it if we had half the resolve that they had on killing their own people. Wow.
Give him a hand. I mean, that's kind of the solution, is it not? But here's what makes your job so difficult. For Blacks and Hispanics to push back against the evil that our oppressor does to us, Blacks and Hispanics would have to not love evil. That's the problem. Blacks and Hispanics love evil. Blacks and Hispanics push back when you try to fight evil. Do you understand? That's what they're going to push. You're going to go out in the street corners and on the internet, and you're going to push back against evil. And blacks and Hispanics are going to get your page shut down. They're going to complain. They're going to call the police to get them to come shut down your speakings. They're going to push back at the people that push against evil. And so that's what makes our job so difficult, and it makes the men and the women that join the truth so rare. So absolutely unique. Eres única. Eres única. Keep going.
This is the book of Second Ezra 5, verse 2. But iniquity shall be increased.
You get that. Iniquity shall be increased. Keep going.
Above that which now thou seest.
Please, above what you're looking at now. You think it's bad now, forget about it. Wait until you see 2025. Wait until you see 2026. Go ahead.
Or that thou hast heard long ago.
Or evil that you've heard of a long time ago. Did I pass the brother or the sister's question? Go ahead.
Verse 3. And the land that thou seest now to have root shalt thou see wasted suddenly.
The land that you see that is rooted right now, you're going to see it be destroyed. You're going to see it wiped out and be destroyed. It's rooted now, it's strong now, but it's going to be destroyed. Continue.
Verse 4. But if the Most High grant thee to live, thou shalt see after the third trumpet that the sun shall suddenly shine again in the night.
Let me tell you, the land of Israel is going to be destroyed. This is a prophecy telling him that the land that you see rooted now, which is the land of Israel, which is his homeland, the homeland of the prophet of God, that land is going to be destroyed. By the time of the third trumpet, when the third trump blares out, you're going to see the sun come out again, and this land will be reborn. Israel is coming back. The people that have been lost and slaughtered, destroyed, and wasted are going to be reborn again. And that's what he's telling this prophet, to encourage him, because he's told him how terrible things will be. But once we get through this terrible time, then victory will be ours. That's the point, right? Anything else? Please, próximo preguntas.
Sir, this is from Young Man Jermaine. Shalom, Yahweh. Salaki, sir, can you break down Isaiah 3 and 1 for what, sir?
Okay, go ahead.
Sir. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 3, verse 1. For behold, the Lord of hosts, doth take away Jerusalem, and from Judah the stay and the staff, the whole stay of bread, and the whole stay of water.
What was this question again, Salaki?
General breakdown of Isaiah 3 and 1.
Oh, Isaiah 3 and 1. Read it again.
For behold, the Lord of hosts, doth take them away from Jerusalem and from Judah, the stay and the staff.
The stay and the staff is talking about a big stick, right? A big stick that protects you, right? The meaning you're going to lose your protection. You're not going to have your protection anymore. The Most High is going to take away our protection because of our refusal to worship him and him alone, because we decided to worship the gods of the other nations. Read after stay and staff.
The whole stay of bread and the whole stay of water.
What is a stay? A stay is that thing that you depend on, that thing that you rely on. That's your stay. The stay of bread and the stay of water. You're going to lose your protection, and you're going to lose your ability to feed yourself. You're going to lose your ability to give your people water. That's going to happen, and that absolutely did happen to us. And right now, here we are in the land of our oppressor, paying for water, paying for food. Many of us go starving to death, having to go to our oppressor, or else your children will be malnourished. Continue. Okay, that's his breakdown. Anything else?
This is from Kanak. Shalom, my Lord, if it pleases you, can I get a general breakdown of Matthew chapter 20 and verse 20 to 24? Water, my Lord.
No problem. It'll be an honor, please. Let me answer the brother's question, all right? Where was it?
20, Matthew chapter 20, verse 20 to 24.
This book, Matthew 20, verse 20. Then came to him the mother of Zebedee's children with her son, worshiping him and desiring a certain thing of him. Verse 21. And he said unto her, What will thou? She saith unto him, Grant that these my two sons may sit, the one on thy right hand and the other on the left.
This is in the New Testament with James and John. Is that what we're reading right now? Right. He wants us to break down. This is in essence the origin story of James and John. James and John were two of the 12 disciples. This scripture tells you how they came into the truth. As you know, Jesus Christ would travel around and he would teach. He would meet different brothers along the way when he was in the very beginning of his service for the Lord his God. He met Peter and his brother while they were fishing on a commercial fishing vessel. They left their father on that vessel and they followed Jesus Christ. He met another brother. He met, I believe, Andrew. I want to say Andrew. Who's the one in whom there is no guile? I want to say that's Andrew, but I can't recall. One of the other disciples brought him to Jesus Christ. Many of the disciples were cousins or brothers. They were related to each other, right? Like Andrew and Peter and James and John, right? This is how James and John found Nathaniel, right? This is how James and John found the truth. He's out teaching. All of a sudden, this woman comes up with these two young men, these two kids. Start from there. Start from what I just described.
She saith unto him, Grant that these my two sons may sit.
She believed that Jesus Christ could change her sons. She believed that he was exactly what they needed to make a positive effect on their lives. You brothers, you might be in that position one day out there in that world. You brothers watching right now. Well, you know that the Israelite School of UPK is exactly what your children need. It's exactly what your daughter needs. It's exactly what your sons need. And this woman was in that situation. And she said, Lord, take these my sons. Put one on your right hand and put one on your left, meaning take direct control over them and let them rule under you. Meaning she wanted one of them to be the first under Jesus Christ and the other one to be the second under Jesus Christ. That's how close she wanted them to be with him. Continue.
The one on thy right hand and the other on the left hand.
The one on the right is the first, the one on the left is the second. Continue.
In thy kingdom.
In thy kingdom. Keep going.
Verse 22. But Jesus answered and said, Ye know not what ye ask.
Read that again.
Ye know not what ye ask.
She knows that Jesus Christ is the perfect example that her sons need in their lives. So she brings them to him and says, let them be with you in the kingdom. You're number one and you're number two. And Jesus Christ, his response was, woman, you do not understand what you're asking. You don't get it. You don't get what it means to be my number one and my number two. As you know, James was unalived by Nero Caesar. And John sat for the rest of his life on an island scribbling rants and dreams that we now call the book of Revelations. She didn't know what she was asking for that day. To be his right hand and be his left requires suffering, young man. Suffering. Suffering is how you get to be with him. This is something your preachers don't know anything about because they don't suffer because they don't serve Jesus Christ. To be a preacher, you need to know how to party good. That's what makes you the best preacher in the world. The best singer will be the best preacher. The best piano player will be the best preacher. The best dancer will be the best preacher. The best dresser will be the best preacher. The person that can party the hardest will be the best preacher. To be the best disciple of Christ, you have to suffer to do that. There was an old term for it. It was called passion. To have passion for a thing. That's the direct translation of passion. Passion is not sexual, which is, of course, what you think it is now because of poems in the 1700s. But passion means to suffer. That's what the term passion means. And if you want to serve Christ, if you want to be in this work, It requires passion, young man. I pray you understand. Keep going.
Are ye able to drink of the cup that I shall drink of?
And he's making it very clear. Are you able to drink from the cup that I drink of? You want to be with me? Or can you take what I am going to take? And you do what I must do. Continue. Sorry, 1 second. In the back. Microphone.
The cup, is that the same cup he was referring to when he was praying and asking Musa this cup?
That's exactly what he's talking about. He's talking about being unalived, which is what happened to them. They're going to prison for the rest of your life. That's what happened. That's what they signed up for. You understand? That's what they signed up for. James and John got exactly what they requested. And Barakatah Yahweh Shai for them. They got exactly what they signed up for. Now, as you name your child, as Commanding General Yohana is getting named after John, which is what Yohana means. As you're getting named James, what's James in the Hebrew? Yahweh. As you're getting that name, just remember the brothers that made that name famous. They carried that name on past the New Testament. Two men that suffered for that reputation, brother. Continue.
And to be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with.
Yeah, oh boy. Yeah, they got it. They got baptized with the baptism that he was baptized with. What changed him? His baptism was suffering. That was his baptism. That's how he learned. Continue.
They say unto him, we are able. Verse 23.
Read that again.
They say unto him, we are able.
Read that again.
They say unto him, we are able.
I know you understand that. They got exactly what they signed up for. Continue.
Verse 23. He saith unto them, ye shall drink indeed of my cup.
You're going to. Come out of one cup. Can you do it? Come out of one cup. You're going to get just what you asked for. You are going to drink of my cup. You're going to get it. Go ahead.
And be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized.
You are going to be baptized with the baptism that I take. You're absolutely going to get it. Keep going.
But.
Read that again.
But.
Hetero. Read that again.
But.
Go ahead.
To sit on my right hand and on my left is not mine to give.
But I can't decide who sits on my right and who sits on my left. That's up to the Most High. The power that you want comes from God. But the suffering, if you want it, you can come get some with me. That's the point. Everybody understands. All right. Anything else? See me one more time, please. Again, no, Chavez.
Sir. This is from Kazab Yahudah. How Kazab Yahudah is slow. And I have a breakdown about Isaiah 7 to 15. What is water and honey?
No problem. Go ahead and read it.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 7, verse 15.
Well, let me shout out to Captain Desariak. Give Captain Desariak a hand, man. He just sent me a text saying that WAC 100 went on DJ, went on Vlad and had some battle on Vlad just now and had to battle some Amalekite. And kept telling the Amalekite that he was not a Jew, that the Jews are black because Captain Desariak said that on Vlad TV. Outstanding work. Well done. He said it should be out soon, very soon. All right, the video. Go ahead.
This is the book of Isaiah, 7 verse 15. Butter and honey shall he eat, that he may know refuse the evil and choose the good.
Let me go. This is a prophecy about Jesus Christ. Is this Isaiah 53?
Isaiah 7.
Isaiah 7. This is a future prophecy about the Messiah, which are future prophecies about Jesus Christ written of in the New Testament. It's describing him and the life that he will live. Read it. Two verses above it, please.
This is the book of Isaiah 7, verse 13. And he said, "Hear ye now, O house of David."
O house of who?
O house of David.
Hear ye now, O house of David. As you know, Jesus Christ comes from the house of David. He is from the root and lineage of his forefather David. Hear ye now, O house of David. Keep going.
Is it a small thing for you to weary men?
Is it a small thing for you to weary men? How did the house of David weary men? When the house of David finally got in charge, after the time of King Solomon, they began to be very cruel to the people that they were set to serve. They began to be cruel to the congregation of Israelites that they ruled over. And they began to be terrible leaders, terrible kings. All right. And so he's saying, is it a light thing for you to what?
Is it a small thing for you to weary men?
Is it a small thing for you to weary men? You're wearing out the nation of Israel with all of your cruel taxes and burdens that you put upon the Israelites. Continue.
But will ye weary my God also?
Are you going to weary God the same way that you weary the people? Are you going to attempt to overthrow and oppress God the same way that you wear all of the people out with your cruel punishments and your cruel taxes? Continue.
Verse 14. Therefore the Lord himself shall give you a sign.
No problem. The Most High said, fine. Since now you want to weary me, you want to vex me the way you vex the nation of Israel, now the Lord is going to give the house of David, the family of David, a sign. A sign. Continue.
Behold, a virgin shall conceive.
Behold, a what?
A virgin shall conceive.
Behold, a virgin shall conceive. That's a sign. Why is that a sign? Now, you got to just think about what we're talking about. 1 second. I got to answer this text. Bear with me. Salaki. Read that again.
Behold, a virgin shall conceive.
This is the sign that the house of David was going to receive. Someone was going to have a child who was unmarried. That's what that means. An unmarried woman was going to have a child, which was a great shame to that house. It's not a shame to your family because you're the descendants of slaves. So it's nothing to you. But if you were the family of a king or the family of the rich aristocrats, having someone get pregnant who is not married is a terrible thing. Imagine, the British aristocrats having a baby out of wedlock. That's what happened in the case of Jesus Christ. If you're a rich and upstanding or a family that is royalty, you can not have a baby out of wedlock. When it's saying a virgin shall conceive, meaning this young unmarried woman will conceive, which is going to humble you because you would think that no one from your family would ever do anything like that. Continue.
And bear a son.
And bear a son. Keep going.
And shall call his name Emmanuel.
Emmanuel, which means God is with us. They'll call his name Emmanuel. I broke that down before already. When Jesus Christ came, everyone knew that God is with us. The same way you knew that the fireman that rescues you from a burning building means that God is with us. They knew that also about Jesus Christ. So this child, who would be considered nothing because he's a child born out of wedlock, everyone will consider him to be the one that God sent. That's how God planned on humbling this proud house. And the house of David had become extremely proud, extremely, terribly proud. So now what did God do to teach them a lesson? I'm going to make some girl get knocked up without having the marriage ceremony, without the dowry, without the big giant ceremony fit to a king. She's going to get knocked up, and that child will be the one that everyone knows is great, not you. That was the way of humbling the house of David. Continue.
Verse 15, butter and honey shall he eat.
Now here's to her question. Butter and honey shall he eat. What makes Jesus Christ in this prophecy different than the rest of the house of David, who wearies the people and wearies God? Who knows? The way he was brought up. Jesus Christ was brought up well. That's what it means. Honey and butter shall he eat. Meaning, instead of eating the bile that you eat, the poison that you had to ingest every day that turns you into the person you are. How do you think you got the way you are? You got the way you are because of what you ingested as a child, what you ate, what you had to swallow every day. You hear these terms? These are terms used to this day. Man, what I had to swallow coming up. Man, yeah, that happened to me. Guess what I had to do? I had to eat it. I had to eat it, man. I had to suck it up. These are terms we still use to this day to mean just to take some terrible thing that you can't change. And that's your childhood. Just taking it, just suffering. That wasn't so with Jesus Christ, brother. Jesus Christ was raised well. Wait until you see what that can do to change a child in the future. To raise him right. To feed him what? To feed him the poison of slavery. That's why you beat your children with extension cords, right? Because the slave master beat your great-great-great-grandfather with extension cords. Here you are in 2025 beating with extension cords. You're feeding your child oppression and degradation. You feed it to him. Your child grows up to be a psychopath. You argue and curse around your child, and you get drunk around them, and you do drugs and you smoke around your child. Well, then what happens to your child when your child gets older? When your child is young, you can't say, "Mommy, stop smoking. Mommy, don't do drugs," because your child is small and your child doesn't have any power. So your child just sits there smelling all of your marijuana smoke, smelling your cigarette smoke. The child doesn't like the smell of it. What does the child do? Suck it up. You can't stop mommy from getting high. You can't stop daddy from getting drunk. So what do? You suck it up. And then when you're older, you become someone who is affected by what you had to eat up every day as a child. That wasn't like that with Jesus Christ, brother. That wasn't like that with him. He was fed honey and butter. He was raised well. Raised well. That's what honey and butter is talking about. It's two foods that you would give someone that you love. You understand? If you love this child, man, they're not just getting the milk, they're getting the butter. You're going out there, you're making butter for that baby. You're getting the honey from a tree and bees and going through all of this trouble to just give him the best thing possible. That's what you do with children. You want to just give him the best thing that you can give him. That's how he was raised. At 12 years old, he was gone for 3 days debating the scholars in the temple. When they finally found him, they were so worried. He said, "Knowest thou not that I would have been about my father's business?" If I'm missing, What do you think? I was out getting high? What do you think I was out doing? Gangbanging? Huh? Cutting school to go be with some slut? No. If I'm missing for 3 days, God has me on a mission to learn his word and to battle for it. He was raised well. He was raised well. That's what honey and butter is. Now, you think about that when you raise your children. Speaking of two good children, we got 2 of them in the class tonight. Give them a hand. Who we got here tonight? Who's here tonight? Give the microphone to Officer Bun. Who did you bring in here tonight, Officer Bun? Kaparium and Kabosh. Give both of them a hand. I got a little money for the young man. Ooh-wee. I got a 20. I got to split this up. Who has 2 10s on? I got no change on. You rock it up for them when you get back to the crib. Send them both up here to get the 20s. Clap it up, young warriors. Come get some money for being raised well. Good job. Here you go, warrior. He got it. Take this compartment and split that up with your brother, all right? Let him get 10 off of that, okay? Good job. Give me a pound. Other hand. Bang, bang, bang. Oh, good job, warrior. Clap it up. Go ahead.
I was looking at this story the other day about this sister showed up to her son's college basketball game with her new husband, who is 18, the same age as her son. And she took this young husband that she got to go see her son play basketball.
And it made the internet? Because everybody knew about it. Even the boys' basketball teammates. Yeah, Officer Abun is he's an excellent father. Well done. Good job, Abun. Well done. He's an excellent father. Well, let me tell you, that helps in life. I can have one of those. I think you understand that. It helps to have an excellent father in life. Most of us don't have that. And so we have something we have to overcome. But if you could just be raised right from the beginning, it could be nice. It'd be nice. Next question. Let me get a buns in the back. Your question about microphone.
So I started a question on Ecclesiastes chapter 19, verse 19, specifically the fruit of the tree of immortality. It's the last part.
Go ahead, read it.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 19, verse 19. The knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life.
That part you need broken down? Go ahead.
And they that do things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality. The fruit of the tree of immortality. How would that be broken down?
Well, first, just look at the metaphor. Right? You know, the doctrine means how we live. How do we live? We live a lifestyle of immortality. What does the term immortality mean? To not die. What is the opposite of immortality? Mortality. Mortality means to die. We will eat from the tree. So just see the metaphor. I'm eating from the tree. It's just like eating what? Honey and butter. Honey and butter, right? So now I'm eating from this tree of immortality. So now what am I ingesting every day? How not to die. That's what I know. My life is about that. That's why I don't smoke. That's why you don't do drugs. That's why you don't steal or lie or involve yourself in an evil sexual lifestyle that's wrong. Why? Because those things will make you die. So I have to eat something that makes me live. That's immortality. You understand? That's what Jesus Christ talked about all through the New Testament. All through the New Testament. Everybody understands. Go ahead. I mean, what do you think we keeping these laws for? For nothing? We keeping these laws to live. Just like anybody does anything else. You know, just like a lion is eating, zebras and eating elk. to survive. And a bear is building a den to survive. You cannot survive if you get a drug addiction up. You cannot. You start to smoke cigarettes, you're going to die. That's it. We're keeping these commandments to save our lives. We want to live. That strong desire to live, it is such a precious gift from the Most High, to have just the desire to fight forward, to live. Think about people when they get cancer up and what they'll go through, or they get kidney failure. They'll sit in a dialysis place, every day for 8 hours. Every single day, someone has kidney failure. Will sit in a dialysis for 8 hours every day of their lives. Do it for 20 years. Someone that gets cancer, come on, man, you're fighting a damn war. You're getting chemotherapy. You're throwing up every day. Your hair falls out. Your beard hair and your mustache falls out. You're sick from the cure. The cure is making you sick. What do? You keep taking it. You keep throwing up. You vomit. You take a little bag with you so you can vomit every day, because the drugs to kill your cancer also weaken your immunity. So now you're sick. What do? You keep taking it. What if you took that same mentality, and because of that mentality, you never get cancer? You understand? You never get HIV, because I feel that way before the cancer. If I was sitting in a dialysis place for 8 hours every day, I can't come to class one day a goddamn week. Nigga, when you get dialysis, you're going to sit in there 8 hours every single day. And no one will have to force you to go. You think some camp leader is going to say, show up to dialysis? No. I don't know why you camp leaders do it today. I can't stand to hear somebody calling some brother saying, why doesn't he come around? What in the hell are you calling anybody for? Asking why they don't come to class. Why are you doing that? Why are you belittling this cure? Don't belittle this. He wants to stay home. Let him. Let people leave the truth. No one will have to force him to get to that hospital. Dr. Sebi died on the way to the hospital. You understand me? He was an alkaline fortress. That's what the fake Israelites called it. They said, Dr. Sebi's dead at 90? Can't be. He's an alkaline fortress. Dr. Sebi died on the way to the hospital, racing there to get there. Why? Because Dr. Sebi wanted to live. He wanted to live. Bob Marley, he was just, a natural roots man with the yam and the plantain. Where did he die? In Zurich, in a mountain hospital in Zurich, Germany, getting the finest care for cancer that the poor people could not afford. He died in Zurich in a hospital that had experimental cancer drugs. Come on. Fuada warrior, give him a hand. He died in a hospital in Zurich, Switzerland, on a mountain where only rich people can go. Why? Because with all that stupid talk about plantains and yams, Bob Marley wanted to live. So he's dying in a cancer hospital in Switzerland. Do you understand? What if you acted like that without the cancer, without the dialysis? How much would you come to class? How much would you travel 2 hours every day to get to class? How much would you drive then to save your life if you believed your life was in danger? We keep these laws. We eat from the tree of life because we want life and we don't want to die. Everybody understands. Go ahead.
Brother online. He asked for a general breakdown of Philemon 1:16 to 18, sir.
No problem. You got it. Whenever you're ready. That's all right. Go ahead. Just to remind you, Commander General Yohana is going to play a rerun tonight for Commander General Yohana's show. This class usually directly precedes Commander General Yohana's class. Tonight we'll end it and they'll play a repeat online. All right, go ahead.
This is the book of Philemon, chapter 1, verse 16. Not now as a servant, but above a servant, a brother beloved.
You got to read. Give me a little context, please.
Verse 14. But without thy mind would I do nothing, that thy benefit should not be as it were of necessity.
I might need some more context. Where are we at?
Chapter 1, verse 14.
1, stand by. One and 14.
This question is through 16.
That was questions F 16. Okay, I mean, you might need 10. Let me see if I might not need 10. Let me see if I need it for the question. Okay, this is speaking, read verse 10.
This is the book of Philemon, chapter 1, verse 10. I beseech thee for my son
Onesimus, go ahead.
Whom I have begotten in my bonds.
Whom I have begotten in my bonds, meaning while I was in prison, I brought this man into the truth of Christ. I begot him in my bonds. Remember that term begotten, because that term is used in the New Testament and people think it's literal, and it is not. It is not literal. When Paul says he begotten him, which is a term that means literally to be his father, meaning I created him through sex, is the literal term. But in the truth, it's used not to mean that I procreated him sexually, but that I'm the one that brought him into the truth. I begot him. I'm his father in the truth. You get my point? So this brother is coming to the people where the people of Philemon are. They're sending, what's his name? Onesimus. Paul is sending Onesimus to him, meaning this brother was in jail with Paul. Paul was in jail. He met this brother in jail. This brother got out of jail first. And then Paul sent this man to the brothers in the book of Philemon. Everybody understands? All right, go ahead. So now I'm going to skip down. Read 13.
Verse 13. Whom I would have retained with me, that in thy stead he might have ministered unto me in the bonds of the gospel.
Meaning, if I could have had it my way, I'd have kept him with me. I would have kept him with me, because then he could have ministered unto me in the bonds of the gospel. If I had it my way, Onesimus wouldn't be with y'all. I would have kept him with me to help me in prison, because this man was a great help to me in prison. Read, you might need 11 too. Read 11.
Verse 11. Which in time past was to thee unprofitable, but now profitable to thee and to me.
This brother Onesimus wasn't always a good person. Once again, Paul found him in jail. So in times past, he was not profitable to you. But now he's changed. Now he's a new man. So he's making this argument for this brother because he's coming from jail. Paul is sending him to them. The brother is out of jail. The brother has to leave jail. If Paul had his way, he would keep him. But the brother's time is up in prison. So now he's sending him to the people where Philemon is written. All right. So that's this whole argument is about him telling them, accept him. That's the point. Accept this brother. And he's giving more and more argument into accepting him. Now read 15.
Verse 15. For perhaps he therefore departed for a season, that thou shouldest receive him forever.
You might need 14. Read 14.
Verse 14. But without thy mind would I do nothing.
Meaning I wouldn't do this without keeping you in mind. That's what it means when he says, without thy mind, I would do nothing. Meaning I wouldn't do this without thinking about you first, without considering you first. Without your mind, I would do nothing. I wouldn't do this without your input. I wouldn't do this without you having a say in it, because this is a difficult thing, accepting this brother with a bad reputation, and Paul is asking them to accept him. And he knows that there could be some resistance in accepting him, because this cat is notorious. Do you understand? He's a terrible person, and they know he's a terrible person. But Paul is saying to give him a chance. He's different now. Continue.
That thy benefit should not be as it were of necessity, but willingly.
Meaning, I don't want you to accept him because you had to. I want you to want to accept him. So I'm asking for your opinion, your input. Paul was an excellent leader, like Commanding General Yohana is an excellent leader. He listens to the men below him. Some of you officers of 5,000 and 10,000 should do that. You should do things and keep the brothers who are under you, keep them in mind. Ask them their opinion. What do they think about it? Well, they have so much that you need. And Paul understands this. Why? Because he doesn't want them to accept him out of necessity, meaning because they have to accept him, because Paul said you have to do it. They want him to be accepted willingly. They want the brothers and sisters down here to go, you know what? I agree. He should come down. We should give him another chance. That's the work of Christ. They don't want them saying, yeah, we got to accept it. It's an order. They don't want that. It's less effective to have people do things that they don't want to do. Do you understand? Many times in the truth, you have to do it far less than you think you have to. Far less times do you need to order men to do things than you think you have to. Many times you have to order them simply because you don't have the skill or the will to get them to see your point of view, to get them to understand it, or you just don't give a damn about them understanding it, and you're a terrible camp leader, and I'll be finding you and finding someone better eventually. Continue.
Okay.
Now go to, where you at, 16.
Verse 16, sir?
Mhm.
Verse 16. Not now as a servant, but above a servant.
Not now, don't accept him like a servant, but above a servant. Above that. Keep going.
A brother beloved.
That's what you're going to accept. Don't accept him like he's coming down there to you as a servant. Why? Because you look down on him. Do you understand? And he knows that there's a possibility that they'll accept him. Yeah, Onesimus here, Paul said you was coming. Sweep that floor down there. You're a wicked nigga. You just got out of prison. Get down there and shovel that snow and do this and do that. Don't accept him like you would a servant, above a servant. Accept him like a brother. Accept him like a peer. Like, this is a good camp leader, Rob. This is a man that knows how to be in charge, the Apostle Paul. Like, you should learn. You should learn how to do it like he did it, because you're terrible at it. You're horrific at leading, brothers. You don't know what in the hell you're doing at all. Continue.
Especially to me.
Especially to me. He's damn sure a brother to me. He was with me in prison. I wish he didn't get out. I wish he had more time, because he could be in here with me. But since I can't be with him, I'm sending him to you. Accept him like a brother. He's especially been a brother to me. Continue.
But how much more unto thee, both in the flesh and in the Lord?
Come on, man. How much more of a brother will he be to you in the flesh? When he gets there, he'll be in the flesh. There's another precept that Christians believe that when it says in the flesh, it means that God came in the flesh. It's not what that's talking about. In the flesh means in person. In person, meaning I'm standing in the room with you. I'm not, this is not a virtual class. I'm here in the flesh. Well, he's saying he's going to be more to a brother to you because he'll be there in the flesh with you and in the spirit of Christ with you. You get the point. Keep going.
Verse 17. If thou count me therefore a partner, receive him as myself.
Listen, if you think I'm one of you, if you count me as your partner, then receive him like he's me. Receive him like that. This whole thing is about trying to make an argument that they should accept this notorious criminal who just got out of jail. And of course, these good, decent people don't want to accept him. These are good people down there. And they don't want to accept this cat straight out of prison. Paul doesn't want to force them to. He wants them to want to accept him. And he's making the argument to break their hearts, to make them understand that they should accept him. Keep going.
Verse 18. If he had wronged thee or owed thee fault, put that on mine account.
Listen, I know he might have gypped some of you out of some money. You understand? He might owe you some cash down there. Okay? If he owes you money, if he wrongs you, charge it to me. Okay? I'll pay his debts. He's trying to do everything he can do to get this brother accepted at this school in Philemon. Right? He's trying to send him back. The Bible doesn't say this, but it's how can I describe this? You could infer that he's from this area. He's from Philemon. So he's out of jail, but now he's going back to Philemon on this island or this fishing village or some village. Everybody knows him. He's cheated them. They know he's the cat that cheats you out of money, that commits crime. But he's from there. Paul is sending him back there, but not just back to the man's mother, sending him back to the school in Philemon. You understand? The school of the brothers there. They might know him because he was famous for cheating people and doing crime. If so, charge it to me. Don't charge it to him. Continue. That was his question. All right, next. So let me get Abun again. Abun, you got it.
Question on Proverbs 21. Proverbs 21 and 22, and then Proverbs 21 and 25.
Mm-hmm.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 21 and verse 22. A wise man scaleth the city of the mighty, and casteth down the strength of the confidence thereof. Scaling here would be literal. But what is the
Scaling is literal, but it's a metaphor. So meaning it's saying how just like with eating from the tree, first just see the metaphor. There's some mighty man. What does it mean to be mighty in this context? But not in this context. No. Please.
Intelligence, sir?
No, not in this context. Read it one more time.
A wise man scaleth the city of the mighty.
They're mighty because they have a strong city. Like America is not mighty because they can physically punch you in the nose. America is mighty because they have armies and military bases and jets and aircraft carriers. You get my point? America's might is in their military might. So this is a mighty man's city. Mighty why? He has this big giant wall and armies that cover this wall and these garrisons and forts. But a wise man scales that wall. Do you understand? This man doesn't have the military might of big walled cities, but he has wits. He's smart. And because he's smart, before you know it, he's crawling up the wall of your city at night in a place you don't see him. You get my point? Meaning he's not answering your might with might. He's not, launching catapults to break down your walls, which would mean he's mighty. You have walls, he has giant catapults to knock down your walls, or missiles to knock down your walls. That's two mighty men fighting. But if you're not mighty and he is, what do you have then? your wits. Babun. Espionage is exactly what I'm describing. I'm describing they're the big military power, but you can creep. You can just creep in and corrupt their scientists and talk to their wives and get information and get their secrets and sneak onto their bases and set bombs. You understand? That's the metaphor. The metaphor is he's militarily strong, but you are smarter. You're going to win. Your wit is going to overcome his strength, which is the point. That's the metaphor. Now take that into life, and that's true everywhere in life. That's true in anything in life. They're so big, they're so strong, but God is with you. There's a brother that knows all about that. His name is King David. Well, this cat was big and strong, King Goliath. He's 9 feet tall with a big helmet and a breastplate full of goddamn metal. He's militarily stronger. David is smarter. David is quick and quick-witted, and David kills him in seconds. You understand? That's life. Don't trust in your might, because there's some brother out there who God is with, and God has quickened his mind, and because of that, he's going to win. That's the point. All right. Anything, please, Abun. Please.
And cast it down the strength of the confidence thereof. So that's just the same point.
That's what I just said. He crawled up your wall. I'll give you another story, the Trojan horse. Where the city of Troy is some big walled giant city in the myth by Ulysses. It's some big walled city throughout it. No one can get over it. No one can, defeat it. I forget who sent Odysseus. They gave him a gift. They worship horses. They gave him a gift. They loved the gift. They accepted the gift. They thought the gift was a tribute to their might and their power. And then at night, some niggas crawled out the horse ark and opened up the gates and killed everybody in the damn. You get my point? That's the example. But think about that and then just take that over to everything in life. That strength and might and power is less meaningful than a quick-witted man blessed of God. All right? Go ahead.
Last verse 25. Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 25. The desire of the slothful killeth him, for his hands refuse to labor. Or says killeth him.
Forget about this. What's the desire? What is sloth, first of all? Abun? Being lazy. That's direct translation. To be lazy. And laziness is a curse. It's a terrible curse. And drugs make it an epidemic, because that marijuana makes you lazy. You just become so lazy because you smoke and you don't want to give things effort. So since you don't want to give things effort, you become a musician or a rapper or a singer or a jazz player in the 1930s, because you don't want to give anything effort. So you want to chill. You want to just do something where you don't have to give it anything hard work. The slothful, read that again.
The desire of the slothful.
What's the desire of the slothful? What's the desire of the slothful? Abun. To be lazy. That's what he wants. Right? He picks a career that allows him to smoke weed all day. That's the career. What career is best for me? Go to the bar, get high. Rapper. That's it. He's a terrible rapper, but the lifestyle is perfect. Do you understand? What is going to work if you're a rapper? Going to a studio and getting high. That's great. Sign me up. When am I at work? In a club, high in a club. Sign me up. In essence, you picked a job that just allows you to smoke weed and get drunk because you're a lazy, disgusting bastard. That's it. And you avoid anything that is hard work. Your desire is to be lazy. Well, that desire is going to get you killed. I mean, damn. Right now, because you want to be in a bar and a nightclub all day, you're getting shot in there. You're going to die there because this is where lazy people go. They used to have things called crack houses. I don't know if you kids got those anymore. But you could go in that crack house, brother, and just sit in there weeks. You know, it's forever. You go in there, they might have a piece of a couch in there, some or beanbag chair, or some type of something to sit on. And is everybody just sitting around chilling? You get my point? You walk in there, and I walked in some of my former days and go, whoo, this is something in here. This is a terrible place. Anyway, how many of y'all want? Let's go. I go in like, God damn, this is hard. All right, y'all, slide them up. Who wants more? Jesus Christ. It's like a hellhole. But the people in there, they're not in hell. Do you understand? Like they're in there like, man, this is where it's at. I'm laying in here for 3 more days. You'd have somebody's woman or some mom trying to come get him out. He fighting her at the door. You don't want to get out. You want to stay right in here with his homies or her friends. And they're going to be here sitting in this room, totally silent in the dark for days. The slothful person, if you get what you want, you're going to die. If you get to be as lazy as you want, you're going to die. All right, anything else? No sweat.
This is from Mark 1. He says, "Slaki, my Lord, if I may ask." In 1 Maccabees 2 and 34 to 40, did the Israelites who did not come forth for battle have a righteous spirit, or was it just plain ignorance? The water, my Lord, for your will.
No problem. It'll be my pleasure to help you out. This sounds like he's speaking about the ones who would not fight on the Sabbath.
Oh.
Yeah, they were absolutely ignorant of the will of God. They were not righteous at all. At all. They were just like you fake Israelites out there that won't turn on the stove on the Sabbath day. You are like them. The Israelites today who are in fake Israelite groups who won't cook on the Sabbath, won't turn the heat on the Sabbath, won't make a sandwich or do anything on the Sabbath. You are like the people in this verse. We'll read it quickly, all right, so you can understand who you are. There was a time when the Greeks, we were in a war. Who were being led by the Maccabees. They were fighting a war against the Greeks. The Greeks were more in number, and the Greeks had the allegiance of the wealthy of Israel. The wealthy of Israel were on the side of the Greeks. So there was a small band of people who decided to rebel against the Greeks and against the government of Israel, who were on the side of the Greeks, right? So they would break off into what we would call factions. Do you understand? So there was a faction with the Maccabees, and there were other factions, and they were separate. They were separate. So let's think of them today like fake Israelite groups. We're a faction in the truth in the one West UPK. But you have other factions of Israelite groups who believe that the white man, the oppressor is the devil. They believe Jesus Christ only died for Israel in some cases, but they're separate from us. So I want you to think about it in that context. That's what was going on. You had the Maccabees rebelling against the Greeks, and you had these other people also rebelling against the Greeks, but they were not together. You understand? Now read.
This is the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 2, verse 34. But they said, we will not come forth.
Above it.
Verse 30.
Just give me the context of it. What's happening?
Verse 32.
Mm-hmm.
This is the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 2, verse 32. They pursued after them a great number, and having overtaken them, they camped against them and made war against them on the seventh day.
And so this is a great number of the Greeks and Israelite allies came up against this faction, this camp of Israelites who were also rebelling against the Greeks. And so they came up against them, and imagine they're barricaded in a house somewhere, and an army is outside of the house. And this was on the Sabbath day. Continue.
Verse 33. And they said unto them, let that which ye have done hitherto suffice. Come forth and do according to the commandment of the king, and ye shall live.
So they're saying, listen, the king, Antiochus, the king of Greece, let what you've done, let that be enough. Give up. So they're asking for their surrender. They're saying, what you've done already, let that be enough. Don't do anything else. It's the Sabbath day. Just surrender and we'll accept you. We'll take you into custody. Don't commit more crime against the Greek Empire. Surrender. Continue.
Verse 34. But they said, we will not come forth.
This Israelite camp said, no, we will not come forth. We will not surrender, which sounds like bravery. Continue.
Neither will we do the king's commandment.
And we're not going to eat pork. We're not going to eat shrimp. Just like you fake Israelites who are not in the UPK. You don't eat pork. You don't eat shrimp. Some of you don't celebrate Christmas, right? Some of you. You believe in similar laws that we keep, some of you. This is you. They refused to surrender. They were brave. They refused to surrender, and they also would not obey the will of the king in eating pork. They refused to do it. Continue. And let me make that a little more clear. There are many precepts you might read about Israelites being forced to eat pork, right? Let me just try to make it more real to you so you can understand how this is happening now. It's not only because they want you to compromise your belief in God, because they know that if you eat pork, then God will not be on your side. They absolutely know that. They've learned that, just like in the other books in the Apocrypha, when they knew that if the Israelites sin against their God, they will lose. But it's more socioeconomic than that. If the Israelites do not eat pork, the agriculture business will fail. And that's why you read these precepts about heathens forcing Israelite leaders to eat pork and to do it in public. They wanted them to eat pork in front of everyone. Why? For promotion of the pork industry. That's why. You understand? You're a leader, right? You're Michael Jordan, you're Oprah, you're The Rock Johnson. Hold my product up by your face and say, good. It's the other white meat. Ribs, ham. They need you to support the industry. So since you are a leader of Israel, eat pork right here in front of everybody. You read those scriptures, and I know you don't quite understand the practicality of doing it. It's a commercial for pork. It's a commercial. This man is Judah Maccabee. He's famous. He's a leader. Eat pork here in front of these thousands of people. After that, I'm going to sell so much pork, I'm going to get rich. Do you understand? It's just like today. It's the reason that the Baal worshipers, one second, is the reason that the people who worship Baal and worship the Christmas tree killed you if you tried to come against it, because they sell Christmas trees. That's an industry. You know how much money did America make in the trees, Yediah? That's all. Not eBay, not the gifts, not the stores. But I'm just talking about the idol itself, the tree. How much money did they make? That was going on in Babylon. The tree is going to make everyone rich for generations after generations. The Maccabees eating pork would have created the agricultural boom that countries need to survive. That's why your breakfast is bacon. You understand? Your breakfast is bacon. Your breakfast has been bacon. What's breakfast? 2 eggs and bacon. That's your breakfast. It's your breakfast so that they can have the agricultural industry. Please. That's just the trees. $3 billion for something you throw away the next day. The next day you throw that thing away. And they make $3 billion every year. And it is good for 1 day of the year. 1 day of the year. If you tried to speak against the Christmas tree like Jeremiah, you had to run up. You had to hide in a cave. This is the reason. This is the reason that Jeremiah had to go hide in a cave, because he's speaking against the industry of idols. Paul talked about the artificers of idols, the people that made the idol. Well, in the Maccabees, brother, there was a pork industry that you really can't understand. You might like this. Every pig that we eat comes from them. The Romans brought over the pigs to America. That's how pigs got here. The Romans got them from the Greeks. And these pigs have started from the Greeks, these people who grow pigs and make them fat and big and have an industry of them. And the Romans took this pig, brother, and ruled the world with that industry. And now you put bacon in a milkshake. Am I making that up? Is that tough talk? Show it to me, Diane. Show me bacon in a milkshake. Show me bacon on a donut. Show me bacon in a milkshake. Show me bacon on everything and anything that goes in your goddamn mouth. Why? The industry is so strong. And you're buying bacon. And it's going on whatever go in your goddamn mouth. Bacon martinis. Bacon in Bloody Marys. You go, I drink Bloody Marys when I'm on vacations in tropical places. And when I'm there, I have to make sure to say, don't put a stick of bacon in my Bloody Mary that I drink at 10 a.m. Don't do that. I have to ask him about it. And no clamato either. Don't put that in there. Milkshake or the milkshake. Whenever you get a chance. Bun, what do you want to say?
I was just going to say that it was like a hot milk commercial today. They were trying to air it.
You need somebody famous to do it. If they do it, you're going to make money. Go ahead. Picture will suffice to you, diabetes. If you want to do this, it's up to you. I don't know what's going to be wrong. I think you understand. It's an industry. And when you read the Bible and you hear about eat pork, you better eat pork or we're going to kill you and your 7 sons. There's a practical monetary reason for it. It's always about money. It's about an industry. So now that's what happened here in Greece. I mean, in Israel, done by the Greeks. We refused to eat pork. They went around and was killing anyone who refused to eat pork. There was a group that refused to eat pork who were run by the Maccabee family. But there were other groups, just like there's the UPK under commanding General Yohana, and there's a 10 or 15 other fake Israelite groups who also disagree with obeying the king's commandment. What was the king's commandment? To eat pork. That's the commandment that we're speaking about right here. The king's commandment is that you had to eat pork. Everybody understands? Now read it again.
But they said, we will not come forth, neither will we do the king's commandment to profane the Sabbath day.
To profane the Sabbath day. Keep going.
Verse 35. So then they gave them the battle with all speed.
They say, listen, either you give up, either you come out and surrender, or you eat pork today. And they said, we're not going to surrender, and we're not going to eat pork on the Sabbath day. We're not going to profane the Sabbath day with committing an unlawful act on the Sabbath. Continue.
Verse 36. Howbeit, they answered them not, neither cast they a stone at them.
Howbeit, when the Greeks heard this, the Greeks didn't respond. And the Greeks didn't cast a stone at them. Keep going.
Nor stop the places where they lay hid.
Nor did they stop the places, meaning they let them just stay in these places. They left them in there. Continue.
Verse 37. But said, let us die all in our innocence.
What did they say?
But said, let us die all in our innocence.
They said, let us die in our innocence. Keep going.
Heaven and earth will testify for us that ye put us to death wrongfully.
They said, because it's the Sabbath day, we will not fight on the Sabbath. So we will die today in our innocence, and heaven and the earth will declare that we kept the Sabbath. We did not lift a sword or throw a rock to defend ourselves on the Sabbath. And heaven and earth will testify that we're innocent. They're like the IUIC, your random fake Israelites out there that don't cut a stove on the Sabbath day, that don't turn the lights on the Sabbath day. You believe you're being righteous. I hear you. You don't understand the Sabbath. But the Maccabees did understand the Sabbath. Keep going.
Verse 38. So they rose up against them in battle.
So what did the Greeks do? The Greeks rose up against them in battle. Keep going.
On the Sabbath.
On the Sabbath. Keep going.
And they slew them.
And they killed every last one of them. Go research something called Masada. Masada is the most holy thing to a so-called Jewish person. Masada is about this group of Jewish people that were conquered by the Romans. And the Romans came in and they refused to fight on the Sabbath. And the Romans just killed everybody in there. And the Jewish people tout that as exactly what you should do. Masada is held up in reverence in Jewish culture to be the most righteous people on the planet who refuse to fight on the Sabbath day. Those people do not understand the Sabbath. Continue.
God. With their wives and their children and their cattle.
Imagine that. The Romans came in there. They refused to fight. The Romans killed them, their wives, and their children and their cattle. And those men sat there going, Hashila Baba Shababa, head covered, fringes on my t-shirt. I will not cut the stove on. I will not cut on the stove. I will not open up the refrigerator. I will not cut on the lights. I know you feel righteous. You don't understand the Sabbath, however. Continue.
To the number of 1,000 people.
1,000 people, men, women, and children, and cattle. Continue.
Verse 39. Now when Mattathias.
Now this is a different Israelite group here. Do you understand? This is Commanding General Yohannan's kind of Israelite group. This is one west. So when Mattathias Maccabee, when they heard about this, keep going.
And his friends understood hereof.
The Maccabees, they heard about what happened over there with those cats who refused to fight on the Sabbath day, and 1,000 of them got killed. Keep going.
They mourned for them right sore.
What did they do?
They mourned for them right sore.
Someone else give me Psalms 34 for a precept for this. Psalms 34 and Stand by. Psalms 34 and ooh, it's such a good precept for this right here. Stand by 1 second. Just hold Psalms 134. Look for the grave. Look for the grave in Psalms 34. I can't find it, but it's right here in Psalms 34. Someone else do that while the brothers find it. Read it from the top again.
Okay. This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 2, verse 39. Now when Mattathias and his friends understood hereof, they mourned for them right sore. Verse 40.
Psalms 30 and 9. My apologies. That's the precept. Psalms 30 and 9. So when the Maccabees heard about these 1,000 Israelites that got killed because they refused to fight on the Sabbath, they mourned for them right sore. They were sad that 1,000 people died like this. Continue.
Verse 40. And one of them said to another, if we all do as our brethren have done, and fight not for our lives and laws against the heathen, they will now quickly root us out of the earth.
They said, listen, man, I'm so sad about what happened to them. And if we do the same thing, because eventually they'll come and get us on the Sabbath, especially now that they know that Israelites won't fight on the Sabbath. They're going to only kill us on the Sabbath. So if we do the same thing, then we'll be rooted out. This battle is over. This war is over. If we also will not fight on the Sabbath, just like our brothers in these fake Israelite groups, then this nation is over. We're finished. Continue.
Verse 41. At that time, therefore, they decreed.
At that time, when they realized that, they decreed. They made a judgment and they let everyone know what we were going to do from now on. Go ahead.
Saying, whosoever shall come to make battle with us.
If you decide to join this Israelite camp, you decide to join the Maccabees, if you decide to join us, whosoever that will come and join to the battle with us, go ahead.
On the seventh day.
On the what?
On the seventh day.
On the what?
On the Sabbath.
On the Sabbath day. Go ahead.
We will fight against them.
We will fight. You come fight us on the Sabbath. We're battling. We're fighting. So they made sure everyone knew about it. You decide to fight us, we're getting into it on the Sabbath. Don't ever think that you can come attack us on the Sabbath and we'll lay down our swords and go Shabbat Shalom. Happy Shalom, happy Shabbat. Happy Shabbat Shalom, brother. Shalom. No, we're not a Shalom camp over here. You fight us on the Sabbath, then you must want to die on the Sabbath. That's your choice. That's what you like. It's a free country. But we are fighting on the Sabbath day. And they made sure the Greeks knew. They made sure that everyone knew we are not the Israelite camp that will sit there and sit in a cold ass house because it's the Sabbath day and not turn the stove on the Sabbath day. No, that's not this Israelite camp. That is not who we are. And they made a decree to make sure the Greeks knew and everyone in Israel knew. Continue.
Okay. And saying, whosoever shall come to make battle with us on the seventh day, we will fight against him. Neither will we die off as our brethren that were murdered in the secret place.
We're not dying the way they died. You can forget that. That is not this Israelite group. So if you're out there looking for an Israelite group that doesn't turn on the stove on the Sabbath so they can all sit there, the little 5-year-old hungry as hell, sitting there shaking and shivering and facing the wall with you. That's not this group. You're in the wrong group if that's what you're looking for. We fight on the Sabbath in the Israelite school of UPK. We fight here on the Sabbath day. we do it. We'll do. We save our children on the Sabbath day. Jesus Christ said, is it wrong to do good on the Sabbath? It is not. Let me tell you something that the Maccabees realized. Give me Psalms 30 and 9. This is a precept for the brother that asked the question. And this is something you're going to need for this time of year. This time of year is a time of year of suicide. This is the suicide apex of the year. A lot of you out there, you're going to contemplate suicide now. You're going to contemplate killing your wife, killing everybody, killing your husband, killing your family. You're going to think about it because it's Christmas time. And Christmas time is an evil time of the year. And people do a lot of damage and they hurt each other this time of the year. This is something that you have to know. There is no glory that God can receive from a corpse. He can't receive any. Only living men can give God glory. You have to be alive to serve God. And I know in your depression and your sadness, you think somehow you'll make a statement by committing suicide. You know, once you kill yourself, then they'll know that they shouldn't have treated you like that. I know what you think. That's you. You think, you know what? They keep treating me like this. When I'm on the news, that's when they'll realize that you can't treat people the way that you treat them. You can't do him like that. A lot of you brothers need to, before you know it, you'll make some YouTube video. It'll be on YouTube when you're dead. And you'll be on it just saying, well, I did this so people could know that you can't treat people like this. Brother, you're not doing any heroic act unless you're alive. You got to be standing on your feet to serve God. You have to be alive to serve God. The heroes of God are living. He is not the God of the dead, but of the living. Give me Psalms 30 and 9.
This is the book of Psalms 30, verse 9. What profit is there in my blood?
This is a man going to God saying, save me. What profit is there in my blood? What good am I doing, God, by saying I won't fight on the Sabbath day? So I'll just stand there and pray, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, wackety, wackety, whack, whack, kill my kids, kill my wife. Now I'm innocent and I've served God. What are you doing? God isn't served by corpses. God is served by living men who can speak his laws and enforce them. What are you going to die and serve God? Yeah. You can go ahead. I'll get just another corpse then. And you're forgotten soon after. Please.
Use this precept as like something to break down how Martin Luther King wanted everybody to just get punched in the face.
You know, I totally forgot that as I'm breaking this down. I don't know how God about Martin Luther King, and that is the doctrine of Martin Luther King. Dogs bite me, shoot me in the head, beat me up, I'm dead. Now I've done God a good justice. How in the hell have you done that? What are you even talking about? If we all follow Martin Luther King, we all die then. And we all just get beat up and shot and killed and get bitten by dogs. And we're gone. That's what the Maccabees saw. Well, if we do what they did, how in the hell are we going to have a revolution full of corpses and dead people? Somebody has to be alive to run the country, don't they? We're going to turn the stove on the Sabbath, sweetie pie. We're going to cut the lights on. We're going to speak at the camp on the Sabbath day. We're going to have a Sabbath service and blow your mind and come in here and teach on the Sabbath, which is working. And we're going to work on the Sabbath day. If it does God glory, if it serves our King, we'll do. And we're going to have sex on the Sabbath like you can't even imagine. You don't even understand the kind of sex we have on the Sabbath day. And you would just cry if you even understood. this sex that we're having here on the Sabbath day. We stand in front of the bed naked, say a prayer, and get into that bed and tie fire to that tail on the Sabbath. Then go cook afterwards. Then the bitch got to go downstairs and make a sandwich. Oh man, I don't know. Listen, don't join this group. Stay away from here. Do not join. There's a lot of nice Israelite groups out there. You women in these Israelite groups, don't worry. Your husband won't even look at you on the Sabbath. Don't worry. He doesn't see you anyway. You understand? So you join that group. Okay. In this group, your tail is in hell on the Sabbath day. Keep going.
What profit is there in my blood when I go down to the pit? Shall the dust praise thee?
Read that again.
What profit is there in my blood when I go down to the pit? Shall the dust praise thee?
Is the dust going to scream Kwam Yashala, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh Akkad? Will the dust praise God? No. I have to live for God to receive praise. I have to be alive. There is no gain that God gets in your death. That is in some silly misunderstanding of Jesus Christ in your mind. Furthermore, Jesus Christ is alive. There is no profit that God can get from a dead man. None. None at all. Now in your head, you're like, well, I'll just die for God. And then God loses a faithful servant. God needs faithful servants to receive praise. Read it again.
What profit is there in my blood when I go down to the pit? Shall the dust praise thee? Shall it declare thy truth?
Is the dust going to declare the truth? Who's going to teach the truth when you're dead because you got so depressed over your baby's mama and child support and your oppression, and they keep getting on your nerves at your job? But you believe in God, though. That's something. That's a heavy thing. That the people that kill themselves and commit some, act of terrorism, that kill everyone at their job and then kill themselves, or kill their baby's mother and kill themselves. Ask them if they believe in God. They're going to absolutely say yes. It will be on the YouTube tape they make. They'll say they believe in God. Well, if you believe in God, who's going to believe in him now? You're dead. No. In the Israelite school of UPK and the Commanding General Yohana, we do what? Eat from the tree of immortality. We're not dying. We're not in this to die. We're in this for you to die. I pray you understand. We're in this to be the servant. On the other hand, are in trouble. But we are in this to live forever, not to commit suicide, not to go shoot up everyone at the post office, not to shoot your baby's mama and shoot the kids and kill everybody the way you Christians do. We're in this for the children to live, for the wife to live, and for the man to live so God can have someone to praise him. Everyone understands. That's your answer. That's it. I'm gonna wrap it up soon. All right, you die. Tell me when we not going upstairs. So whenever you're ready, I'm done. Go ahead. Anything else? In the room? Questions online? With that, pass the class over. Police officer Mathumya.
You got the school. So you back to school, you still got
I gave security announcements, but I ICBK started one was on 25th Street Hall, New York, under command of Jury Honor. Group for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be secluded only. They are here to shed themselves to the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, brother and sister will get permission from the head and marry. Ties, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers, the 18th chapter, and 21st verse. And Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. It means the tenth in the Hebrew, Ma'asharah. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. The next one will be the feast of Purim. The 14th day and the 15th day of the 12th month lands on a Thursday, the 13th of March, and Friday, the 14th of March. And you can find this in Esther, the 9th chapter, verses 20 through 31. All right. Remind Akim and Aquathian to check the bulletin board in the hallway. And if a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf with that Men of Israel module, which means to stand. I'll give a courtesy salute. Men of Israel, I'm Shabbat. Ahmad, Barak. Yahweh, Shem Yahweh, Shabbat, Dom, Asmataj, Bassis.
So we can start to celebrate, fill up the sky. We may be rushing things, but we can hardly wait now.